Hi folks, and welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. So we come to the last fly in the Orkney series. So what you see in the vise is my version of the Claret Bumble. So without further ado, let's get into it. The hook in the vise is a Hanak H260 barbless hook. This one's at size 10 and it's finished in black nickel. The thread I'm going to be using today is from Trout line. This is the A2. It's a black GSP silk at 50 denier. So as always, let's get a little blob of varnish onto the shank of the hook. Or super glue does the same job. Just helps bind the GSP to the black nickel finish. So I'll catch in at the eye here and then get a bed of silk. Not overly worried about touching turns at this stage because there's going to be a lot going on to this fly. So I'm going to use my blade just to take away the rat's tail. Now for the tail of this fly we're going to be using some golden pheasant, and I'm going to be using the orange parts up here. I've already got a little feather that I've been working away on. Now you don't need a whole lot of this. I'm looking for maybe between 4 and 5 fibres. Just take a little bit of that off and then pull it away. And then what I want to do, as a guide, you'll see there's 2 bands of black. I want both bands to be shown out of the tail of this fly. So I'm going to dress it up. That will do me nicely. And then I can get a couple of pinching loops on just to see how it's sitting. And that's looking not too bad. Catching them ends. Then I can come down to about halfway down the fly at this point. So next we're going to add in our wire rib, and I'm using some Simplify silver wire. It's bright silver at 0.2 millimeters. I've got a little piece I've been working off. Not much of it left actually. I've been tying a few of these. I'm going to get the wire just so you can see. I'll put it on top there. I'm not coming all the way to the eye. I'm leaving plenty of room. As there's quite a lot goes on at the front of this fly. So we'll bring that all the way down. Now I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to use my left index finger, to grab the tail and pull everything back. And then I can bring my thread approximately to where a barb would be if this had been a barbed hook. Now for the body dubbing off this, I'm using some maroon seal's fur, which I've already got a pinch out. Now, as always with seal's fur, I like to get some sticky wax onto the thread. It just helps with the dubbing process. And I've got my little bit of seal's fur here. So I'm going to dress it up to the thread and just clamp on as tightly as I can. I want to keep the body fairly thin. Obviously there's got to be some sort of substance there, but I don't want it to be a big horrible thick body, so try and keep it nice and slim. And unusually I've judged the right amount, and I don't need any more. I thought I might have to add some to that. Now I'm going to come back a few turns. As I say, there's quite a lot going on at the front of the fly down the line. So next we're going to add in our palmer and hackle. Now I don't have the correct palmer, but what I've got is something akin to what I want it to look like. So I'm using from Ban Valley Flies. They sell little packs of hackle. So if you don't want a whole lot of what's this, magenta, I think they call it. It's a Met's neck grizzle for size 16 to 10s. I've already picked a feather out here. So the Ban Valley packs are brilliant. You know, if you don't want to spend a fortune on a whole cape, you can simply get these little packs of feathers and it will hopefully do you for flies to fill your box. It's not going to do you if you're a commercial tyer, but I don't tie commercially, so that's not a big deal to me. The little packs are perfect. So I'm going to grab my hackle pliers. Even though it's a big feather, I just like using hackle pliers when I'm bringing hackles over. And what I'm going to do is get a turn in there. I'm going to sweep that back a little. I'm going to come up again get another turn in. So it's kind of double turn at the front, just to support the body of the fly. I don't want this collapsing completely flat. It's a fly to be pulling through the wave, the bumble, and very often you can dibble it up on the surface and you'll find you've got trout rising all around trying to snatch it out the air as you're bringing it back towards the boat. Now, I say my variation, it's, you know, there's nothing new in fly tying is what I think, so I'm sure somebody else has come up with the idea of using a different colour hackle for the body or different body materials, but I still think I'm within my rights to call it a bumble. It's in that style, but if there's any fly tying police out there about to comment, that's nothing like a bumble, good luck with that. You'll get no change out of me. So I've just caught the wire in there, get a couple of turns to hold it into place, a couple of turns in front, then I'm going to just keep tension on my thread, helicopter that wire away, and then I can come in, take away my excess palmer feather, just run my fingers through that to dislodge any loose fibres. You can see a couple in there, and that's looking pretty tidy. I don't know what that is, looks like a hair of some description, probably my dog. Right, so next then we're going to come in with our first hackle, and what I'm using is simply some guinea fowl, and this is a pack from an arts and crafts shop. I've selected out a blue feather, all ready to go. It's here, and what I'm going to do with this, you can see I've stripped away all the gash that I don't want. I'm going to come in with my hackle pliers and create a little Christmas tree here. Now, I'll just show you once I've got this so you can get an idea of what sort of percentage of hackles left. I say it's a little over 1 centimetre either side, and I'm going to keep both sides, and then I can come in with my scissors and simply leave enough for a handle. Now, before I tie this in, I am going to come in with some beeswax just to get a grip on the feather and trap that in. I have to say I've really enjoyed tying these more, well, traditional I suppose, type patterns for you the last few weeks. It's not something I do a lot, but it certainly is a guilty pleasure. You really do feel like you're actually fly tying instead of lashing frits and synthetics to hooks. But, you know, we've moved on in the world, and a lot of this stuff I like to do for pleasure because I think it's something you've got to practice. If you practice tying these traditional wet fly style, sorry, swallowed a couple of golf balls there. If you practice tying these traditional wet style flies, then it just helps you with other tying. You know, it increases your skill set and helps you down the line when you're coming to tie other patterns. So you can see the guinea fowl dyed blue is looking pretty stunning on this fly. And I think I might have just about picked the perfect feather. And what I mean by that is it's just got the right profile I'm looking for at the front of the fly. So sometimes if you pick the wrong feather, it can be too short, you're not getting the effect you want. And other times it can be too long, so all the feathers are protruding past the tail and it doesn't look like. Fly tying's all about proportions, and if you get the proportions right, then the fly's going to look half decent by the end of the process. I'm just going to come with a toothbrush there and try and tease out them fibres at the bottom. So, so far so good. Now let me just explain a little bit about the concept of the fly. It's got a much longer tail because of the way the bumble fibres flow backwards. I want the tail to be seen. It's got a real depth of structure with that palmer, and it's a cock hackle. It's a really good feather. It's going to support the flies. It's been dragged through the wave. And the guinea fowl, which is my first hackle, is going to give it that splash of colour I want. Now, to finish off the fly, I'm going to bring in some grizzle woolly bugger. And as you can see, this has been dyed blue. And I have got a feather that I prepared earlier. The handle's a little long, but we can just trim that up. Ready to tie in. Now before I do that, I'm going to just get a few wraps to hold that into place. And I can bring my thread to the front of the hook. Now I do hope you did enjoy the Orkney series, but I have promised several subscribers that have been not complaining, but they've suggested that I'm not doing very much river flies, and the reason for that is I'm not doing very much river fishing. But I'm going to make a special effort, and the next series of flies will concentrate on running water. So if that's your bag, you can look forward to some river patterns in the coming weeks. So as I bring this over, I'm just easing back the fibres with my fingers. There's no rush here. Take your time. Try and encourage them fibres to flow back over that guinea fowl. And I'm going to come almost to the front of the hook. One more turn. I want it quite heavily dressed at the front here. I want that to push water, cause a little disturbance. And once I've got it in place, I can let go of my hackle pliers. I'm going to damp down my thumb and forefinger in my left hand, and I'm simply going to sweep everything back and then start working on my head. Now what I'm doing is I'm coming over the top of the hackle, and that's going to help with the shape of the fly. Once I'm content, I've got that head tightly on, I can grab the waist, pull that away, and then I'll grab my whip finish tool, tighten that into there. Come on with the blade. Now I'm just going to use my thumb and forefinger to squeeze that in. I'm really pleased with this one actually. They all turn out not too bad. They're all fishable, is what I would say. But this one's going to look really nice for the photograph. So to finish up, we'll come in with a little bit of resin. You can use varnish or super glue, whatever you choose. Just to finish the fly off. Now, other things you can do with this is you can add jungle cock. If you're so inclined and you happen to have a nice jungle cock cape, you can definitely add some of that to give it another dimension. I don't feel the need. I'm going to use this feather just to clear the eye before coming in with a torch. As always folks, if you've enjoyed the tutorial, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.